March 24th, 2026, regularly scheduled City Commission meeting for the City of Henderson. If you would, please stand with me, and Wayne Hargis is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Hargis. Can we have a call for attendance, please?
Commissioner Hargis. Present. Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Here.
Commissioner Witt.
Here.
Mayor Staten.
Here. If I could have Miss Angie Gatton and any friends or family of Angie's that are here that would like to come up to the podium to support her, we have a special presentation.
In March, as it is National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, highlighting that colorectal cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable through early screening, we pay tribute to community advocate Angie Gatton, devoted wife of Officer Jana Gatton, who passed away in 2023 after a courageous battle with colon cancer. In her honor, Angie has become a passionate advocate for colon cancer awareness in the community, emphasizing the importance of early detection. Angie further exemplifies extraordinary commitment to our community through her volunteer efforts, including her contributions to local warming boxes and blessing boxes. In her role at the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, she serves with distinction as a discovery clerk and advocate, where she is widely admired for her positivity, compassion, and sense of humor. Angie's strength, compassion, and commitment to serving others continues to inspire our community.
Miss Angie, it is indeed my honor to present you with this Community Spotlight Award and to say thank you for all of your advocacy and all of the good work that you do in the community.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
And this podium is yours if you would like to say anything.
This will be something that I will say until I draw my last breath. If you are age 45 or older, go and get your colon screening. I truly believe with all of my heart that if Jana was able to been screened when she was 45, they would have caught her cancer in time, and she would still be here. Talk to your family. If you have any history at all, make sure that you express that with your doctor, so because you may qualify to have a colon screening earlier. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up on the agenda, we have a recognition of new employees.
Yes, if I could have Mr. Brian Williams and Mr. Stark come up to the podium, please.
How's everyone today?
Good.
I'd like to present Dante Starks. He started out as a temporary for the sanitation department. He did a wonderful job doing that. A position opened up recently, and he's applied for that, and he received that. So he's been a full-time employee for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks.
All right, so
Awesome.
what
Glad
made
to have
you
you.
want to come to work for the City of Henderson to begin with?
I outlived here. It's our city.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
it is our city.
You
Thank
say
you.
that
Yeah,
again.
thank
You say
you.
that, that's right.
Well, thank you very much. I'm so excited that you're here with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Welcome.
And, next up, I would like to invite Ms. Webb and Mr. Cates.
Good afternoon. I have Luke Cates here. He's joined us a couple weeks ago. He's a former corrections officer, and he's decided that he doesn't want to work on that side anymore, so he's doing really well with us. We're excited to have him.
All right, Luke, I asked the same question just about of everybody, but what's your story? Why did you want to come work for Emergency Services 911 Dispatch?
I've grown up in the area. I've worked in corrections for about 8-9 years. I moved away a few years ago, and then I just recently moved back, and Henderson's kind of where I landed, and it's kind of what I've always wanted to get into. So,
Great.
here I am.
Well,
Thank you,
welcome. We
welcome.
certainly appreciate you.
Welcome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
And then the last one for this afternoon, if I could have Mr. Bowles and Mr. Mattingly.
It's a city commission meeting. If I'm not here introducing an employee. I'd like to introduce Mr. Rad Mattingly. He's our new water treatment plant operator, and been with us about 2 or 3 months as a temp, and decided to come on full time. I'm glad to have him, and and know his family well. His brother worked for us for a while, and went to Pratt. But we're definitely glad to have Rad with us.
You know, we've had 6 regularly scheduled meetings this year, and I think you've introduced a new employee at 5 of them.
Because of retirement.
No, yeah. No, I do want to say all 3.
He's cutting the leaf on.
That's right. We have Brian Williams and Jordan Webb and Bart Bowles, and I'll tell you, the 3 of them are a really good illustration of what kind of department heads we have in the city. Bart does a really good job, and so you were there for 2 months, and then decided to hire on full time.
Correct.
So what was that like for you? Why did you decide to hire on full time? What made the decision for you?
I enjoyed. So I had experience in the wastewater and the treatment water.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed the treatment water a little more, and I wanted to make it a career.
Awesome.
All right.
That's awesome.
Well, welcome. We appreciate having you.
Thanks for choosing Henderson.
That's all our new employees for this afternoon.
All right. Well, I'm going to say one name, and everybody's going to know who that is. Tom Davis, former mayor of Henderson, and a number of other people are here today to present on the on behalf of the Veterans Memorial Foundation about the Veteran Memorial Park. If you would just come up to the podium and tell us what we're looking at, sir.
Yes, sir. And familiar agenda and territory, folks. A lot of fond memories. And excuse my back to you, but I'm addressing you too, as well as the city commission, about why I'm here today. And it's on behalf of these gentlemen here and some others that this park is very near and dear program to me. And I didn't know if there was going to be, Dylan, if they were going to be showing the most recent diagrams that y'all sent to us or sent out to.
Oh, I don't have them prepped, but I think what you have right there though is.
No, that's the ones that we submitted to you in the very beginning.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry we don't have
those. And I know that there's been an updated version that even the Hendersonian carried in their publication. Our board of directors for the foundation met last Wednesday to go over that proposed changes that were submitted, and in the nuts and bolts of it, it was vastly different from when we were asked primarily in the very, very beginning to submit a diagram. And just as a friendly reminder, we submitted this diagram to our architect, which is all the property down by the railroad bridge where the old power plant used to be. And it's quite an extent, a long piece of property, and it's got a little bit of contamination that has to be dealt with. But this is what we submitted as to what our thoughts the park should be like. We met with with Dylan and some others, oh gosh, it's been several months ago, to go over a few changes that they were doing, especially with the input of the water department, because of the intake system that's down there on the river, which we fully understand. They have to have access to everything that operates our water department down there, and there were no problems with that. There was an addition of a stage added underneath the railroad tracks, along with a restroom facility right next to it. And we haven't had a chance to discuss about why those proposed changes are there, but we understand that that's part of the process. But from the one that was presented to us the day we met with you, dealing with Mac Neal and I met with you, this that got published in the Hendersonian and that we've seen distributed is quite a bit different from that those proposed changes, in the fact that, sorry to say, we looked at it and had our architect looked at it. Our part of the Veterans Park is diminished by almost 50%.
No, that's
and that's just how we have assessed where it's at now, without any discussion though as to why that. But because there's been a concert venue added to the park, and we just kind of we want to work our way so that, believe me, I'm not here in an adversarial position. I'm just representing what we thought was going to be a veterans park from the get-go, and we need to have further discussions, and that's pretty much our update coming from our board of directors of the foundation and the other interested groups that would be involved in the use of the park in the future for any events that Veterans Foundation sponsors and puts on. So it's, that's sort of our update as far as our review, the most recent plans that have been distributed by the city. And we know we have to have, discussions. There has to be back and forth, and that's fine. So it's, but just letting you know where our organization sits at this time as far as our review of what the current layout looks like versus what we initially submitted as the, what we thought a Veterans Park would feel like there on that riverfront. And looks like Dylan may be trying to resource that, but that's fine.
Tom, you're referring to the Parks Master Plan, right? The diagram that was part of the Parks Master Plan? Yep, there it is right there.
There it is there, yes.
Yeah, just to add a little clarity, it's not like your all's drawing came to the city commission and then we talked about it and decided to totally change it. This was actually part of the Parks Master Plan that it was one of the, was it one of the concepts that they did?
Yeah, and this one's actually outdated. I'm only, on short notice, I'm only able to pull up, but I will say this, I think Thomas has got it there. But, so I think whenever you and Tim and I met, or I met with,
it was myself and Mac Neal.
And Mac Neal, whenever we met, whatever we talked about that day was the concept. So, and one thing I want to be clear for the mayors is, everything we're talking about are just concepts, right? Like if this is a project that the commission ultimately wants to support, we're going to work with you all, and we're going to work with Mr. Tim Skinner or whatever architect, and we're going to figure out the nuts and bolts. Those were just, there you go. That's more, I think that's the more recent one.
That was published.
So ultimately, all of those are just concepts. So the intent was never to take away anything from the Veterans Park. Whenever I met with you all initially, the idea was, could we kind of have some dual use so you could drive more people to the park to honor the veterans. And so as far as like what the area would look like and what we would want to do, that is all still up for discussion. The only thing that needs to happen is we have to keep everything in the park to the west of that bridge. And I know Mr. Bowles is in the audience, but there are certain restrictions we have due to the water utility infrastructure that's to the east of that bridge. So those are the only changes that are really kind of necessary, but other than that, it's wide open for whatever the veterans group wants. So I apologize if there was confusion. I know with the Parks Master Plan and working with you all and having multiple architects involved, there were probably different iterations, but the intent was never to shift the focus away from the veterans group. It was just, there you see the stage and the restrooms. It was just hopefully to provide additional value even for your own organization for when you did your events.
Just for the people out here's information, since this screen's kind of small. This was all cleared out. This was all part of, this was actually over here. This stage was added and this restroom facility was added. Those things we have no problem with. We haven't been none of that has been finished in design. And like you said, they are suggestions. And a stage would probably be multi-purpose down there. But what it did was clear out all of our, this part here cleared out our walkway for our memorial, for our Medal of Honor winners, and we are moving all the monuments. For those of you who don't know, the suggestion is to move all of our monuments from Central Park down there. And that's our big one, and plus the Vietnam Memorial and a Desert Storm Memorial. So anyway, that's the main focus is. As you said, Dylan, more discussions, please.
Yeah, so I think what needs to happen from here to try to advance this particular project forward. So we just got the new Parks Master Plan a couple of weeks ago and just adopted it at our last meeting. And when I say adopted it, we just accepted it as a working document, basically.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so,
start to me what a working document is.
Yeah. And so what we have to do now is we have planned on having a work session with our city commission and with our parks board. And out of that work session, we are planning on talking about what our priorities are and what we're going to put in for on the budget for fiscal 2027, which starts July 1st of this year. And when we do that, the Veterans Park is actually very high up, I think, on a lot of our lists. The number one item from the Parks Master Plan is the pool. And it's 5 years past its useful life, and we've got a lot of, it's going to be a 3 to 4 year project.
Oh, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, before we can even kick it off. But I think the Veterans Memorial Park is going to be high up on our list also. And so what I think we should do is Dylan and myself and you and if any representatives from our veterans group want to sit down sometime this week outside of this meeting and talk about what your concept looks like, talk about the concept that was drawn up by the consultant, see what we like and what we don't like about each one of them, and come together on what we would like the final design to kind of look like. At least have a good idea so we can start getting cost estimates.
Sure.
And then that way we can start talking about where and when the funding can come from. If there's going to be any private fundraising efforts and what those are going to amount to, when we're going to look at a possible groundbreaking, if there are any grants associated with veterans that we can tap into, stuff like that.
We're already investigating that.
Awesome. Why don't we, after this meeting, not necessarily immediately after this meeting today, but why don't I call you tomorrow? And we'll set up a meeting sometime this week and get together and start those discussions so that we can get the ball rolling a little bit faster.
I think it's totally the way to go.
Yes,
Greg.
sir.
Appreciate
Yes,
it,
sir.
Mayor.
We'll do it.
Appreciate it, Commissioner. Appreciate your time tonight.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
hearing what
Yes,
I
sir.
have to
Thank
say.
you, guys.
And
Tom, before you leave, I just want to say thank you for all your mentorship. When I first got on the council many moons ago, I just want to thank you and give you your flowers while I can give them to you right now.
thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
All right.
Thank all of you.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Next up on the agenda is a consent agenda.
The consent agenda contains resolution number 16-26, resolution accepting human resources report dated March 24th, 2026, and approving all actions contained within. Resolution number 17-26, resolution authorizing the City of Henderson's application for an acceptance of funding in the amount of $132,039 from the Government Resources Accelerating Needed Transformation Program to support the Safe Streets and Roads for All Action Plan and Supplemental Planning Project, reducing the city's local match to $3,961 and authorizing the mayor to execute all necessary documents. Municipal order number 28-26, municipal order authorizing the submission of a fiscal year 2026 Chrome Rubber Tire Drive product grant application to the Kentucky Energy and Environmental Cabinet for $31,100 and funding for Chrome Rubber surfacing at Community Park with a city match of $16,600, accepting the funds if awarded and authorizing the execution of all necessary documents. And municipal order number 29-26, municipal order authorizing lease between the City of Henderson and the Housing Authority of Henderson, Kentucky for the Dixon Hall facility located at 341 South Adams Street, Henderson, Kentucky, and authorizing the mayor to execute the same on behalf of the city.
Before we get a motion, there is one item that I have commented, just a question, just for clarity. And not for clarity, but just to kind of point out what this program is. Dylan, can you tell us a little bit more about what this GRANT program matching fund grant is for and how we are making use of that grant program?
Yeah, so I see Ms. Basham, I don't know if Ms. Quattrochi are there, so I may have you all step up and help me just a little bit. But the grant, as you all know, that is the state funds that are available to match local portion for any sort of federal grant award. I believe Jeannie helped me, the grant with our portion, we still have a small match, but it's very, very little percentage.
It's 3%.
3%.
Yeah.
So what this one is specifically for is it's a supplemental, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's for a supplemental grant proposal for the Safe Streets for All program. So we are currently working with GRAD to get a, what's it called, a road safety plan?
An action plan.
An action
yeah.
plan. And so the idea is you get this action plan and then you use supplemental funds or implementation funds to do things on that. So we kind of went ahead and went out on our own and applied for this supplemental implementation grant, and it's about $600,630, is that right?
Yeah, $680.
Yeah, $680,000. And basically what this money will do is it will allow us to survey all of our existing sidewalks and actually will allow us to go in and make some repairs. If you all have seen in the past, not the grinding, but where we've done some of the cutting, to make sidewalks that are trip hazards ADA accessible. It'll include some of that work. And ultimately, it'll create for us what they call is a ADA transition plan. And basically what that is it's a plan that every community is required to have that basically says, okay, everybody knows in their community that they've got sidewalks that are non-compliant because, every year you get new tree roots and stuff. This basically brings us into compliance, and it gives us a plan and actually gives us implementation money to start addressing our sidewalks in a more systematic way, almost like what we do with our streets. So this has been something that back when I was in engineering, we talked about and thought about and tried to get done. And now that we've got $600,000+ to do it, it's a huge thing, and it'll be great for our community. Did I all that correct? Okay.
Yep.
Good deal. I just didn't want to lose that in the
Glaze over it,
shuffle.
yeah.
Yeah, because over the last year, we brought in millions of dollars in grant funding back to our city. And it is just amazing to me how this stuff just keeps piling up. And you guys are doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you for your.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else have any questions? Does anybody need to pull another item for further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the entire consent agenda.
So moved.
Do we have a second? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hargis. Aye. Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have the first reading of an ordinance pertaining to water.
Ordinance number 09-26, ordinance accepting public improvements. Ordinance accepting public utility improvements, potable water, sanitary sewer, and storm sewer systems for Bentley Point Section 2, Deer Valley Subdivision LLC, being constructed at the end of Barrett Boulevard in the city of Henderson.
Do we have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any comments or questions, suggestions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hargis. Aye. Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. And if you haven't driven out to Bentley Point lately, it looks a lot different, right, Don? Yeah. Yeah, it is motoring along out there. It's amazing when you see how many houses are under roof. Municipal order approving the first addendum to a memorandum of understanding.
Municipal order number 30-26, municipal order approving the first addendum to the memorandum of understanding between the City of Henderson, Henderson County Fiscal Court, and the Center for Addiction Recovery of Henderson, Incorporated, and authorizing the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
A motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any comments, questions?
Just that the fiscal court approved it.
Fiscal court approved it this morning. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hargis. Aye. Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have a resolution regarding IRT.
Resolution number 18-26, resolution authorizing participation in the Green River Area Wellness Mission Innovative Readiness Training Program and approving payment of city's contribution.
Do we have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We talked about IRT pretty much at length at our last meeting, but does anybody have any comments or questions or suggestions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hargis. Aye. Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have a municipal order awarding a bid for mowing.
Municipal order number 31-26, municipal order awarding bid for I-69 right-of-way mowing project to Dirty South LLC, doing business as ACA Lawn Care of Seabury, Kentucky, in the amount of $94,050.
You say they're called Dirty South? All right. Do we have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any comments, questions?
Yeah, does anybody have the price that we paid last year on that?
So
This is the Watson Lane.
Oh, okay.
This is the I-69
Oh,
first, right?
Yeah, the I-69 is first.
So
Okay.
I know Mr. Newman's out, and I know Mr. Kenny, I don't know if you have a bunch of information on this one, but my understanding of this one is this is related to some of the new, and if anybody from finance is here and wants to correct me, but my understanding is this is relating to the areas that are associated now with the interstate that we may not have been mowing previously. So there were some areas around the interstate, or what was previously not the interstate, like the cloverleaf and stuff that we're mowing, but now, so like when the state introduces a new interstate, for example, I think in general they usually mow 3 to 4 times a year along the right of way, which for the main open areas that's okay, but when you get around the interchanges and stuff, we want that to be done on like a weekly basis, and so these are actually new areas. I do think in his memo he explained that. He gave kind of some more information, but there is a map also that kind of identifies the areas. So specifically, I think this would apply to the areas around the roundabouts at 2nd Street and some of those areas where we want to have a higher maintenance than what the state would otherwise do.
So we're taking more responsibility for it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Any other comments or questions? Do we have a motion already? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hargis. Aye. Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have a municipal order awarding a bid for Wathen Lane.
Municipal order number 32-26, municipal order awarding bid for mowing of Wathen Lane property to Dirty South LLC, doing business as ACA Lawn Care of Seabury, Kentucky, in the amount of $16,500.
Do we have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Have any comments or questions?
16,000.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hargis. Aye. Commissioner Hargis. Aye. Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. City managers report.
All right, just have two things this afternoon. The first is I just wanted to make everyone aware that, as y'all know, for the last 2 years, we've utilized United Way to help us with the funding of outside agencies. We usually allocate so much money, and then they have a committee that consists of, various members who kind of allocate those funds. And so that application period is open. The deadline is Monday, April 6th at 5 o'clock Central Time. So for any agencies who would request funding, would need to go through that process. So those would be like the nonprofits, the festivals, all that. I will say Ms. Johnson with the United Way has sent out several emails, is hosting kind of like some informational sessions. So she's sent out quite a bit of information on that. So it's been very well publicized. And that's the process we will follow. Similar to last year, and we'll receive those recommendations and we will pass those on to you all. So
Can I make two comments just real quick? So the next 3 months, we're going to be without our public information director. And so it's kind of like public information director by committee. This will be a good one. I saw Vince taking notes. Hopefully you can get some word out on that as far as when the deadline is, but then also internally, if we can make a post about that sometime soon, I think that's worthy of us doing. So
I can do that.
thank you.
All right, and then the last thing I want to talk about, and this is to kind of just get your all's feedback. So it's already come up in this meeting once or twice, and then it continues to come up. So as you all know, we just recently, adopted the new Parks Master Plan. And so as staff is trying to put together the budget, as we're trying to figure out what to do next, we've had a lot of interest. So we heard from the Veterans Memorial Group today. We've heard from at least 2 or 3 other groups. I know Mr. Kenny went and spoke with the pickleball group last week. And so a lot of organizations and a lot of community members are really excited about the Parks Master Plan, which is great. That's what we want. But at this point, we got to kind of figure out not just what we want to do, but how we want to figure out what we want to do. And so the mayor and I have been talking a little bit. We did have, as you all know, we've kind of revamped the Parks Board, and their next board meeting, due to the composition of that board, they do need to meet in the evenings. So we had our last meeting on a Tuesday at 5:30, and their next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, April 14th at 5:30. But what I was going to suggest, if it worked with your all schedule, that's the second Tuesday. That's probably not great to do because we will probably have a meeting at 3 o'clock, and I think us having one at 3 and then at 5:30 would be a little much. But what I was going to suggest is, if it would work with your all schedule, maybe on Tuesday, April 21st, at 5:30, we would have a work session where we would invite, I don't know, Ms. Kelsey, if we could have a joint work session or if it would just be a city commission work session. But the idea would be is that we would have a work session with the commission and the Parks Board on the April 21st at 5:30 to start talking about the Parks Master Plan and to kind of get some direction on how we want to decide what we want to tackle first.
When is our budget meeting?
Ms. Mills, it's mid-May.
Mid-May, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna
so
say.
not. I don't know why I had
Yeah,
it
we
written
moved
down.
it from the 3rd Tuesday of May to the 2nd Tuesday, I'm pretty sure, because I was gonna, because
Yes,
we
we
were.
moved it to Tuesday, May 12th.
I didn't grab
Because
my
I'll be
notes,
in Vegas. I
Yeah,
guess.
the next one, yeah, and then I'll be out the following week, so we moved it up. Thank you, Chelsea.
I'm good on the 21st if you guys are good.
5 or 5:30, well, it's 5:30, I think would probably work better for them, because there's a couple of them that have to, but if you all are.
April 21st, 5:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we would probably just
I'm
do
good
it
with that.
we would probably just do it here.
Okay.
So the next step will be, we had told the Parks Board their next meeting would be on the 14th. We'll confirm with them, but I feel confident that we can get a majority of them there on the 21st since it's still a Tuesday at 5:30.
And one of the
I can go ahead and
reasons,
send out an agenda item on that if you need me to.
Yeah, we'll talk afterwards, but that's probably what I'll have you do. So,
and one of the biggest reasons we want to meet is, there's a couple of things we'll want to accomplish. The biggest thing is we'll want to accomplish how we're prioritizing, because there's a lot of elephants to bite in this project. But I really like the way that the Anthony Brooks Park project has come together. Anytime we can do $1 million upgrade to a park, but it's only costing us around $250,000 in local taxpayer money. That puts us in a position to be able to do many more projects and improve the community. And so as we prioritize projects, that's going to help us know how to hit the ground running so that we can involve Jeannie, for example, and other people looking at grant money opportunities. The pool, I mentioned the pool earlier. I think everybody's aware that there's an opportunity to partner with the YMCA, not just from a staffing standpoint, but also from a location and a funding standpoint. And so when you're looking at a pool, the expense is quite large. $6 to $8 million for a new pool, roughly, would be about an accurate guess as far as how much that would cost. I don't want to bite off the $6 to $8 million budget all on city taxpayers. And so if we can partner with the YMCA, see if there's any other funding opportunities or any private opportunities or any of that stuff, by prioritizing, that will help us do some of these things so that we can tackle more projects. So if you guys are available on the 21st, that would be great.
And the only other thing I'll say, the mayor and I talked earlier, it'll be one of those things where I don't think we'll do one project and do the next. We'll have multiple running concurrently. If we decide that a pool is one of the priorities, which probably should be, that'll take 2 or 3 years to get everything figured out, and we'll have other projects running at the same time. So one thing that Mr. Kinney encouraged the Parks Board members to do for their next meeting was to come to the meeting with kind of their top 3 or 4 priorities just in mind, so they can kind of jumpstart the conversation. We'll probably go around and say, based on what you see, based on the people you're talking to, what are the things that you think are big? And a lot of the little ones, we're going to hop, some of the administrative, smaller, cheaper things, like we'll take care of those, as they come. But it's the bigger ones that are going to require some capital investment. So,
and I hope we can get creative on some. For example, one of the smaller projects that I've always been kind of attracted to in the Atkinson Park was the Eco Adventure Park. If you think about the items that people would be wearing when they go to visit an Eco Adventure Park, many of those could correlate with a local business like Columbia, for example. And so if that was something that was like high up on the list, then I would expect that one of us could go to Columbia and ask them, hey, do you have any interest in paying for naming rights and calling it the Columbia Eco Adventure Park? So when we're talking about getting creative on some of these things, those are the types of things that we're talking about. So
that's all for my report this afternoon.
All right. Anything on city attorney today?
Yep.
All right. We do have need for executive session, but let's go ahead and clear the commission comments and the mayor's comments. Commissioner Thomas, do you have anything today?
Nothing today.
Commissioner Witt?
Nothing today.
Commissioner Hargis?
Not today.
Commissioner Pruitt?
No.
I've got just 2 quick things. We were talking about mowing as it relates to cloverleaf. I did want to let you guys know that I will be coming back later and asking for a small amount of money to be included in the budget, maybe somewhere between $20,000 and $40,000. So it's a big amount of money, but in the grand scheme of things, small percentage of a city's budget, to provide some significant redesign work on the Cloverleaf intersection. Some landscaping upgrades and things of that nature. We know that over the next 1.5 to 2 years, the Barrett and 60 interchange there next to the Cloverleaf is going to develop quite a bit more from where we are today. And in anticipation of that, and knowing that the Cloverleaf is going to kind of be a welcoming mat, I think there are big things we can do for a small amount of money and actually run it through the Parks Board. And then another thing I wanted to relate while we're on that subject is I talked to, we've made 4 trips to Frankfurt this season, this budget cycle. We will be talking about, as soon as it's finalized, a lot of the successes that have come out of this budget cycle. We've had a good one. One of the things that have been added to what the state calls its long plan is the Loop Road project that we've talked about over the last couple of years. So the Loop Road project is the one that, if you know where Wathen Lane connects to Highway 60, we're looking at continuing Wathen Lane southward on the other side of Highway 60, having it elbow over, and then trace the new I-69 corridor for about 1.5 miles, and then connect to the backside of the Barrett Boulevard development, where Walmart, Jago, and all that stuff is. That's going to be very, very, very important for future development, because we are going to see some retail development in that area. And that's already a busy intersection, so we're looking ahead and wanting to provide motorists another way to go. It's also going to provide 200 acres more of mixed-use space that can be developed from on Highway 60, right there where Wathen Lane would continue. So it's an important project, probably a 7-year project. It's an important project for the future of our community. The state has added to its long-term plan, which does not guarantee it, but it puts it up and tees it up into really, really good position to be completely or the vast majority of it funded by the state in the future. And so it's really good, solid news for a project that's $20, $30 million project. So just kind of give you guys an update on that. With that, we do have need for executive session. Before he reads the motion, we are going to, most likely are going to come back with action, but it's going to be really boring action that's not necessarily newsworthy, so you can choose if you'd like to stick around or not for that. All right, thank you.
I move the commission go into executive session pursuant, for the purpose of discussion of pending and potential litigation pursuant to KRS 61.810, paragraph 1, subsection C, by or against the city, and pursuant to KRS 61.810, paragraph 1, subsection F, on personnel issues specifically pursuant to KRS 83A.150, paragraph 4, subsection D, allowing the Board of Commissioners to meet in a closed session for the purpose of conducting a performance evaluation of the city manager.
Do we have a second?
Wow.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. We are going to stay in here for our